Good morning and happy Friday. It has been a blazing hot week here in Central Oregon with temperatures over 100 degrees. So I hope you've been staying cool and taking care of yourselves, drinking lots of water. My name is Reed Melton. I am a licensed real estate broker here in Central Oregon based out of Bend. Uh, and a couple of things today. Fair warning, this could be a little bit of a spicy video, but for starters, I'm hosting an open house tomorrow on a new listing that I have on 8811 Forster Drive in Terrebonne. This is on the Rimrock to the west of downtown with spectacular Cascade Mountain views. So if you'd like to see the home or check out those views, please come by. If the heat is worrying you, that's part of the reason I started at 10 a.m. or will start at 10 a.m. So show up early and you should be able to avoid the peak heat of the day. So in real estate news, last week our inventory of single family homes in Deschutes County increased by 10. I think that brought us up to about 957. That is indicative of us reaching peak inventory for the season. Not to say that new listings aren't going to come on the market, but if you look at how quickly homes are still selling with the buyers out there looking, we're not going to see another huge wave of inventory. I did read this morning that many sellers are anticipated to show up in the market in later August. That might be the case, but at that time of year, we're not going to see a peak above where we are today. Now, granted, if the economy continues to devolve into some sort of a catastrophe, that could happen, but most people have really low mortgage interest rates on their existing loans, so there's not a lot of motivation for people to list their properties right now, even if the economy continues to decline. That combined with a lot of equity based on the run-up in prices the last couple of years is really preventing that. And again, we have very strong buyer demand. Next part of this video, for starters, just a little background about me. I grew up in a commercial fishing family. My grandfather was a fisherman in Alaska and Washington State. By the time I started going out on his boat when I was pretty young, as little as 5 years old, spending the summers on the fishing boat, he was not in Alaska any longer. He was working out of Friday Harbor in the San Juan Islands, northwestern Washington State. I bought my first commercial fishing boat when I was 20 years old and did that for the first half of my adult life. So I remember being pretty young and seeing a news story on television that was about a commercial fishing incident, some stuff that was going on in the business that I was intimately familiar with even at that young age, was because of my background with my grandfather fishing. And I just was shocked at how wrong the reporting was. And it really, at a pretty young age, taught me to have a pretty serious distrust for a lot of the mainstream media sources. And now, as I've gotten older and I've read an awful lot of news over the years, what I've learned is that, it's a business and creating content is what it's all about. And most people are giving it sort of a half listen anyway. So doing a deep dive and being very well researched and knowledgeable about a particular topic is not necessarily the goal. So the only reason that I tell you that little story is I keep seeing all the stuff I've run across. Advertising, I've read several articles about how, in 2022, mortgage interest rates are spiking. Well, mortgage interest rates went up as high as 6.25%, according to Mortgage News Daily, which conducts a national average of mortgage lenders to come up with that number. And that was really kind of forward thinking, because the mortgage industry works based on what they think is going to happen and news that they're hearing about what the Federal Reserve is going to do. So those rates spiked before the Fed even really started raising rates. So last week, the Fed raised rates again on Wednesday morning, and that was another 75 basis points, 0.75%. There was some talk that they might raise rates a full percent, but they ended up just sticking with the 0.75%, 75 basis points that they talked about before. So mortgage rates went up, right? No. Mortgage rates are, according to Mortgage News Daily this morning, were 5.22%. So they've gone down a full percent since the peak of 6.25. And one of the local lenders that I work with reported yesterday that mortgage rates were locally at 30-year fixed rate mortgage of 4.99%. So if you're watching the, mainstream media or reading the kind of canned, here's what's going on in mortgages, you're getting a message that is not accurate with today's reality. So if you're in the market and you're reading something and goes, oh gosh, we shouldn't buy because rates are so high right now, rates are in decline. And there's a lot of reasons for that. It's very complicated. And part of that complication, what I'm going to venture into now, is recession. So a resource that I like for kind of working definitions of finance and economic type stuff is Investopedia.com. It's pretty respected, kind of working level definition of stuff. I mean, it's not high level, but if you're curious about a term that you've heard and don't know what it means, I find that to be a good resource. And Investopedia, and basically the finance and economic world for 50 plus years, has agreed that a recession is 2 consecutive quarters of negative gross domestic product. Now, there's a lot more that goes into it than just that. And there have been times when we've had a negative quarter of gross domestic product, a positive quarter of gross domestic product, and then another negative quarter, and then they've come out and said that we were in a recession. So it doesn't always stick exactly to that, but that has been the working definition for many, many, many years. Well, this week the Ministry of Truth came out and decided that that's not accurate. So they're trying to tell us that no, it's not a recession. It's something different, and everything is great. It reminds me of the scene from Animal House with Kevin Bacon and the parade. Dating myself now, and he's just hilariously screaming at the top of his lungs, "All is well, remain calm." So take that for what you will, but I would just say that if you're looking at the mortgage rates, I wouldn't be too worried about it, because right now they're actually pretty darn good. Sorry, I've got a mosquito out here that's trying to feast. So that's really all I had for today. That's a little bit of a spicy video. Maybe I'm bringing up some topics that you completely disagree with, and if so, I get it. Everybody has their own experience and their own perspective, so we're not all going to think the same. But in terms of our market, our real estate market, what I've seen are homes still selling relatively quickly, maybe not compared to 2021, but certainly historically. I have not seen any downward pressure on prices. That really depends on the price point. But for desirable homes in great locations that are priced appropriately, we're not seeing a lot of massive price slashes to get a property sold. We're still seeing buyers stepping up and paying what sellers are asking. So that's about it. If you want to get some more information and some more detail, I suggest going to my website, enjoybendlife.com. Market Trends will break down the active inventory for you. If you go to Market Reports, these are all accessed from the top navigation bar of the website. You can see information on active, pending, and sold properties for a particular neighborhood. You can create your own market report based on whatever parameters you desire. That can be county, city, subdivision. There's a lot of ways to break that down. So hopefully I'll see you at the open house tomorrow, 8811 Forster Drive, Terrebonne, 97760, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you would like to see it at another time, please let me know. My number is 541-408-6625. Once again, Reed Melton here with Realty One Group, licensed real estate broker in the state of Oregon. Thanks, and I hope you have a great weekend.